Hi, so I have Melissa Clark, the sales director of US Blanks with me today. How are you doing, Melissa?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm, in a house.
Yeah, no one's in where they're supposed to be. That's for sure.
So you guys have been doing the mask thing. Can you tell me how that's been going for you and what like the basic mask design is?
Yeah, so we got into the mask game. It feels like forever ago, but I think it's been 8 weeks now. Um, this is for everybody. It's been absolutely insane. We started thinking, okay, we know the demand is going to be there. So we went from transitioning from a full t-shirt production shop in-house to thinking, okay, we're going to make a couple hundred masks a day. We're going to ramp. We're going to ramp up to about 20,000 a week. And in the first 3 days, we got over 1 million units ordered.
1 million units in 3 days?
Yeah. So, and we only have 3 people on our sales staff. And so you can see like what kind of pressure that brought on our team. So we've been playing catch up. As of today, all those orders have now shipped and subsequent orders. So we're completely back in stock and producing. So we ramped up to, I think, close to like 175,000 units a week.
Wow.
And you think about scalability to be able to do that in, we did that in 3 weeks. And so
was that a ton of new hires?
No, we're still just the 3.
What about the actual like sewing? Where is that being run right now?
It's in LA. Yeah, so we had it, you think about the compression piece of it, that you went from, our warehouse usually has between cutting, sewing, and shipping, 75 to 100 people in it a day, side of the sales and production staff. We had to cut that to 9. And so, facilitating and trying to act as you were a normal company, because we're such an at-once industry and we behave that way, that it's created a lot of stress and a lot of different dynamics. We've been fortunate that we've been able to bring back some of our staff. We had to put some people on furlough, unfortunately, at the beginning, but through this, we've brought a good chunk of our warehouse staff to help facilitate the shipping piece of it.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about like that first conversation when you guys decided, hey, we're going to basically stop all production and make masks. Was there just like a phone call or a text?
Well, I'll never forget this. So when San Francisco put in their stay-at-home order, right? Things were about to go really sideways quick for the entire state of California. The night that Governor Newsom put in the order, I flipped out because I'm like, oh God, I think I just lost my job, right? So I called Kevin and he said, I'm already on it. We're a government facility anyways. We're a place of performance for the government, producing military uniforms. So we're able to stay open, and we're going to transition to doing that and making masks. And we looked at gowns and everything and just couldn't get to a price competitiveness point that we could do that.
So we've moved locations to fix the glitching. Now this is your bedroom, I'm assuming, with the toys and the baseball.
With the T-Rex, he's my favorite. He's our security guard.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the masks, but what are you seeing for like T-shirt sales? Is it at like 0? Is it at like 40%?
It's coming back. So I would say, 2 weeks ago, it was maybe 80% down. We're seeing that tick up pretty substantially. It's definitely transitioning. More of my day is being focused on T-shirts than it is masks at this point, because the market has stabilized in masks. There's stuff readily available kind of all across the market.
Yeah.
And so we're able to get back into our normal functionality, I think. And as people get back to work and retail and online and e-commerce are starting to come back, e-commerce never left. They've been doing great. But so you're starting to see those projects come back. We've also, we do a lot of custom cut and sew projects. So we're seeing all those come back online as well.
So you think people are kind of preparing for 2-3 weeks from now, things being a lot more opened up, so they're fixing their inventory now?
Yeah, and you're also seeing people put together the work at home kits, because you're going to need the branding, as we become more of a remote workforce, which I think is going to be the result of this. You're going to see companies, need things for their team so they still feel part of that environment. And a lot of that's just going to be branding and clothes specific.
Have you seen people doing that yet with doing like sending their own staff gear for meetings? Or
a little bit, you've seen some of it, but I think that if this extends longer, and you're going to have to keep employee engagement very high to keep productivity and all those things. So something that's tactical, and that they live in physically is going to be important.
What's your kind of concept of the next year as far as things sort of normalizing with sales? Are you expecting some clients to just never come back and go out of business? Are you thinking the industry will bounce back easily?
I think it's going to be in the middle of those two. I know that there's been several businesses already in the screen printer world. There's already been some fairly large shops that have closed down, unfortunately. But I think this is going to be, the industry almost needed a jolt to it to help take us to the next step and realize all the capabilities that we have and how agile we really can be. It's very impressive how quickly, from a mass standpoint, everyone, 6 weeks ago was, oh my God, I'm going to go out of business. And now I can't keep up. And, figuring out how to make a jig and, that whole system that Ryanette or whoever's put together.
Oh yeah, Action made that for Ryanette, and it was like so fast. When they posted that for sale, I was like, wow, you guys were quick. They must have been designing it while masks were barely even starting.
Well, but think about how much ingenuity that takes. Instead of flat-footed, they came up with a solution. And as people, there was one shop that is very close to me, and they're like, we're not going to make it. They were dead set, we're going to go out of business.
Right.
And then we talked to them and said, you really should get in this mask game today, right? Call all your customers. This is going to be a thing. And because they're selling masks now, they are able to stay open. They're going to have to reduce. They're, getting rid of one of their autos, but they're going to be able to stay alive. So there's still light at the end of the tunnel. Now, do I think events and things like that business is gone temporarily? It will come back. It will be different. I think how we engage apparel and corporate promotions is going to be very different going forward.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how gutsy governors will be with live events, because we do live events with Hyundai, and we're being told that the June 28th race is still happening in upstate New York. And I'm just kind of like, how is 70,000 people going to a race? But at the moment, we're being told like, oh, you should probably buy a flight. I'm like, why am I buying a ticket now? I could buy it the day of and it'll be available.
Right. It's very interesting to see kind of what's happening. And oh my gosh, I'm sorry, problems with Max. It's very interesting to see, and I think you have to be very careful, because you don't want to put yourself in a position like with that you're buying all that inventory and then no event, right? So you're in so much limbo because there's so much more risk involved with those type of events. Even for them, I don't know how they're justifying having that event.
I don't even know if they'll be allowed to. I mean, if the state of New York will even allow it. So I think we're in this weird phase where each event is getting canceled like at the last 30 days because they can push it until then to say it's canceled instead of just wiping out their whole summer, even though that might happen.
Yeah. I mean, I just personally hope that things start going a little bit back to normal and that we're able to do things again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I miss seeing all my friends. I miss seeing you guys and just doing my thing. You know, being at home for 8 weeks now is been really weird.
Yeah. So what is US Blank's plan for the masks? Are you planning on it being an entire year-long like project, or are you thinking that, maybe by July or August the market saturation will be so intense that there's no reason to sell them and you just go back to your old normal?
So we're seeing two different things happen. One, demand has kind of subsided as other options have entered the market at a price point, which is great. But I think that this is going to be a fashion piece. This is the new T-shirt. And this will be just part of our line. This pandemic isn't going anywhere anytime soon, unfortunately. But as we all look to go back to work and back into offices, back to schools, those face coverings are going to be required. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that every American should own 15 to 25 of these.
Wow.
So, and you want it to be comfortable. You know, you don't necessarily want, if it's one that you're picking out individually or for your team, you don't want one that, isn't nice and isn't comfortable to wear. If you've got to wear one for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So we're kind of just, sticking to that. And because we've had a lot of great feedback with ours, that it's comfortable and is a mask can be. So we're just kind of sticking at it, and we're introducing tie-dye, and we're going to be able to do custom PMS color matching at low minimums. So kind of taking our DNA and bringing it just into a different format.
For the Pantone matching, that's a great idea. What would the minimums be on it?
We're looking around 1,000 pieces right now.
Okay, so yeah, so definitely like a corporate order could justify that.
Yeah, and it's not unreasonable. So we can that around in about a week.
Wow, that's cool. And then you can do your Xbox mask or whatever corporate.
That's
thing.
right.
That's smart. So how are you like dealing with contacting clients since you can't go into buildings? I mean, as a sales rep, you used to visit print shops. What are you doing now to actually get anybody's attention in like this world of just email and video chat?
Just scream up and down, a lot of texting, checking in with people. I've been very fortunate that I've got a pretty extensive network of people that I work with regularly, and have had kind of some of those types of relationships and selling style for a long time anyway. I'm the only outside rep for all 50 states, so I don't get a lot of one-on-one time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just business as normal for me. But the conversations have been a lot more intense of how do we keep you open? How do we help you transition through this?
Have you been hearing a lot of, have you been seeing, okay, so what I've been kind of noticing is that the bigger your overhead, the quicker your demise at the moment. In a way, it's actually kind of like a boon for like a guy with a old auto in his garage.
Yeah.
Because he really doesn't have this like crushing amount of money just eating away from all of his profits. Have you been seeing people kind of decide, oh, maybe we should just go bankrupt now and not even try to stretch it out?
I haven't seen that. What's amazing with screen printers is that the entrepreneurial spirit, I can't say that word, is very innate in this. And so you kind of see this win at all costs, survive at all costs mentality.
Yeah.
And knowing, I may have to reduce, I may have to, go from a 5, 6, 7 auto shop down to 1 because this is what I can do. But I haven't seen anyone giving up unless they absolutely, there's no other way out. So it's been a fighting spirit. Now I think, receivables and all of those things are going to be tough from all ends because you're just seeing it's so tight. And if people haven't made the adjustments to PPE, I got to imagine it's very tough right now.
Hey, do you think, because we've had a bit of a problem with people paying like outstanding invoices, do you think that the industry is going to turn into pay me now or never, and we're going to see people losing 30-day terms?
I think it's going to happen in the next 10 to 15 days if it hasn't happened already.
Yeah.
No one has the cash to withstand this because you're starting to see receivables go, maybe they were on 60-day terms. You're seeing it go to 180 days. And these aren't small invoices with small companies. So that gets to be an issue. If I can't get paid from those bigger customers in a timely fashion, it makes it harder to extend credit to the smaller guy. So it's all compressed, and it just becomes an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any parting words of wisdom to print shops that you've been seeing work for other people?
Get out there, start talking to your customers. Everybody needs a mask. I can't emphasize that enough. And that's not from a sales standpoint. I don't care, what brand someone's wearing. It really just matters to me that people are covered up and keeping each other safe. Probably edit that first part out. But just making sure you and your family are safe. We're going to get through this. We're going to figure it out. What happens on the road outside of this and after this, I don't know, but we're gonna be here and we're gonna figure it out together.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the multiple.
So many backdrops.
This is the screen printer's version of my crib. What's that show? The Cribs.
Yeah, right. Cribs. Everyone gets to tour like random houses.
Yeah.
So we can all judge each other's cleanliness.
That's right. My house is actually really clean, and Tim gets all the credit for it. So.
All right. Well, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.